Okay, so this is going to be another preview of this Air application I've created using Air 2.0 with native process and HandBrake command line interface. So I'm calling it DropFolders for now. It's not yet at a 1.0 release, so that could change. But let's run this thing. And what we see here is we've got the interface here. You click on here and you get to go to HandBrake, learn more about it, sort of thing. Because most of the props for this, of course, go to the people who actually create and maintain HandBrake, since that does really all the work. This is just an interface to HandBrake that allows you to do things like create your own presets that include arguments, watch folders, destination folders, and it lets it sort of run all by itself. So you can see here I've got two different presets set up. And this first preset, V1, points to a watch folder on my desktop for a watch folder, and a destination folder on my desktop for destination folder. And my watch folder is right here, and here's my destination folder. So if I open up the watch folder, you can see there's nothing in there. Destination folder, likewise, nothing in there. And then I've got some arguments that I pass in here for, settings for HandBrake. So if we go to my second preset here, the only real difference is that instead of going to the folder watch, this goes to W2, and instead of destination, it goes to D2. And if you want to change any of these, you just click on one of these guys and browse for a folder. You can save the current preset, you can make a copy of it, you can delete it, clear it. So, for instance, if I want to make a copy of V2, I can make a copy, and then I can go and edit it, and save. And there we go, we've got V3. If I want to delete it, I can do that. If I'm mucking around with stuff, and I want to just clear that out, I can do that as well. So that's preset management, and that uses a local SQLite database that's available through Air. And that's been available since, in Air version 1 here. You don't need Air 2 to do that. Let's see here. What we're going to do is just kind of turn that off. So when we turn this off, it's not going to be pulling any of the watch folders. Let's turn that off, and we'll drag these other two folders over here. So here's my watch 1, watch 2, destination 1, destination 2 folders. And there's nothing in any of these folders here. So we're going to want to go and drop some stuff in there. I've got these guys here. So these are the kind of default test instances that we have for Flash Media Server 3 and above. They kind of come packaged with it. So let's take two of these and throw it into watch 1. And we'll take these two and throw it into watch 2. And then in DropFolders, we're going to tell it, okay, let's just run. And what we're going to see here is this current process log is going to start kicking in once it recognizes that there are items to process, and it'll go through and actually process those items. As you can see right here, it's just going through. There it goes. It did one, end encode. And now it's going to go and do another. Each time it actually does a successful encode, it'll actually write a log file to our app data, at least inside Windows, that's where it lives. So if we go to DropFolders, local store, we've got a process log. And in this process log, we can see all sorts of stuff. We can see what version of DropFolders that we have running here. And then we've got whatever's spit out by HandBrake during the process. And then at the bottom, it shows us our input and output folders, the different arguments we've used, and the exit code from the native process API. We've also got in here our presets database. So that's our SQLite database. And we also have video queue. What video queue is video queue is a temporary storage place for any of our media. So whenever you actually put anything into our watch folders, HandBrake will pick it up, or rather DropFolders will pick it up, and create an internal queue of those files, and it'll move them to that queue and then process them as it is. And that way, it's kind of quarantined in a separate area. We're not going to have any weird things going on here. So let's check out our watch folders. So both of these are empty. And in our destination folders, we now have the files that we created in there. So everything worked perfectly. So you might be wondering, what'll happen if there's a problem with something, like if I put an image in there instead of a video. So let's actually do that. I've got a picture of my daughter here. Let's throw that into one of the watch folders. And you can see what happened here is it tried to read the data, but it wasn't able to, and it exited. So what happens when it exited? When it exits, there'll be a rejected files folder created on the desktop. And within that folder, by date and time, will be created a series of folders, and it'll place the rejected file in there, and also a failure log. And the failure log will show, the same sort of stuff, exactly what HandBrake did. We can see, in our input, oh, it's a JPEG file, right? So, obviously there's going to be no video title in there for us to process. So that's the basic functionality of DropFolders. Now I'd like to have a look at how to install DropFolders on a server and, allow it to sort of, just pull some share folders or FTP folders that users might submit data to go and process and dump those things into destination folders, which would be part of some sort of application to, actually view these files that are created. Okay, so now we're logging into a development server that I have, and we're going to have a look at sort of how things have been set up on here. And, both of these machines I'm remoting into, so it's not going to look that pretty as far as, the Windows, Chrome, and things like that. This is server 2003, so, but we've got a basic preset here that kind of maps to the C drive to a W folder and a D folder for watch and destination. And if we go in and have a look at that, you can see in our C drive, sure enough, there's our HandBrake folder, there's our watch folder, and our destination folder. And these have been shared through Windows Server as, watch and so forth. So what this is going to allow somebody to do is just, remotely connect to that folder and just dump files in it and not have to worry about anything. That's the whole idea of this thing, right? So let's go and check out our services, because I have actually set up DropFolders as a service because, with Windows, when you're not logged in, nothing's going to be able to run unless it's actually installed as a service. So let's have a look here. My computer, manage. And we'll go here and have a look at these different services. And this one I've set up just as something called custom service. So custom service just runs. There's not a big deal about it. There are some tools that I will document in the accompanying blog post to this that kind of describe how to manage this sort of thing. So let's log out of this development server. Okay, let's see here. So we've got our watch and destination folders that we're going to have to get to. So we'll go to that server, and we can see D and watch right here. Our destination folder has nothing in it, and our watch folder has nothing in it. So let's go and drag some of these files into our watch folder. So again, I've got these kind of default files here. Let's drag them into the watch folder and see what happens. So there they are. And there they go. So they're gone. They're not in the watch folder anymore because DropFolders running as a service on our Windows server has actually begun processing those. Let's go into our D, and we can see that, all right, one has actually finished processing. And if we wait, here comes the other one. So that is DropFolders running on a server as well. So pretty cool stuff, all made possible by Air 2.0 and HandBrake.